Hey viewers, George here, and I'm here to do a first impression, talking of Mario and Luigi Dream Team for the Nintendo 3DS. Oh, that looks actually a little nicer. I should just start slanting things I show. So, this fantastic new game, which I'm going to just set right there. Look, you can see it the entire time now. And it's slanted. Um, So Nintendo had announced this game earlier this year as being part of, the year of Luigi, which is still really silly that they try to throw that on us because Luigi really only got 2 games of his own this year, and everything else is just Luigi's in it, so it counts, you know. And it's so evident in this one that because this feels like such an anti-Luigi game. If anything, it's a very Mario-esque game. Funny I show that, but it's a very Mario-esque game in that sense. That not only do you really primarily play as Mario, but they constantly just bash the shit out of Luigi, and even really make him out to be a huge second banana in this game. It's okay. Before we get into that, story of Dream Team. So, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toadworth, and the gang are all invited to this island called Pillow Island or something like that. It's basically a play off the word pillow, but yeah, they're invited to go to this island to relax, have fun. Um, and they get to the island, and you know, they start to find out that there are these treasures, or these stones that look like pillows, and that there are these this ancient civilization was basically encased in these stone pillows, and the only way to actually free them is for Luigi to actually sleep on the pillows, and for Mario to enter into Luigi's dream that gets shown above him, because that's how that works. Something about synchronizing their wavelengths and stuff that doesn't actually make any sense, but whatever. And Mario goes in there, and of course there's the Dream Luigi, or Dreamy Luigi as they call it, and they go in to rescue the person who's encased in that pillow, and you continuously do that, and there's a bunch of them you have to basically save. And of course, the main reason why you're doing this is because Peach has been trapped inside the dream world. So, and the whole game just basically revolves around you trying to find out where Peach is and beating bosses and whatnot. And it's an RPG. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's an RPG as well. Okay, before I get to talking about Luigi, let's talk about something I really like about this game. Its RPG aspect, or rather the actual RPG battles themselves. They are so reminiscent of the past Paper Mario games, not like the newer ones that sort of fade very far away from the RPG element, which I'm still a little pissed off about. But it feels a lot like the N64 and the GameCube version, where it had that RPG prominence to it, and there are the badges there. You have to get gear, you can get items. The only thing it seems to be missing, or at least so far that I've played, is the different team members. But Mario and Luigi on their own, they're fucking awesome because they jump on things, they use fucking hammers and whatnot, and they got gloves. But so that's really cool. That's what makes me love this game really a lot. Is just because it's so much like the Paper Mario RPG games, which were my favorite. I love Paper Mario just because it was a Mario RPG with a really fun story and a really good RPG element that's really, good for people who aren't entirely good at RPGs. Not to say that it's beginners RPG, because even people who are really good at RPGs would probably really enjoy the paper Mario. But that's beside the point. Point being is, the RPG elements in this is really fun. It's very simplistic. It doesn't get like overly complicated and buries you in like a bunch of stats or anything. You gain a level, you see some stats go up, and you can increase one of the stats by a random sort of wheel thing, and that's cool. And I have to note that the luck status is called stash. Like somehow their mustaches increased their luck or something like that. That was silly. So yeah, the RPG battle aspect's good. How you engage in battles is you can see enemies. Enemies can get you if you accidentally bump into an enemy or if you attack an enemy. Of course, if you attack an enemy, you get a bit of a preemptive strike. If they attack you, they get their strike. And if you just bump into them, it just starts normally. So, and there's no random battles, and I really like that because, you can avoid if you want to, or you can try and turn the tides in your favor, or if you're grinding, you're grinding. But I don't think you would ever have to grind in this game because you never feel like you're getting overwhelmed by anything. You always feel like you're either on their level, slightly below it, or above it. So it's not like where you're below and you have to really work your way up. It's not like that. It's perfectly well balanced in every aspect so far. First impression, I haven't played through the entirety of the game, but so far, it's working really good. What else do I have to talk about before I get to Luigi? So, the Dream World. So this is one of the biggest features of this game because this is like, I think, the third installment of the Mario and Luigi RPG series. I haven't played the other two, so excuse me if I get something wrong here. But the big thing about this game is that when you go into the Dream World, you can affect things within the Dream World by affecting Luigi in the real world, if that makes any sense. Think about it like if you give someone like a pillow, and then all of a sudden in their dream they're thinking about eating a marshmallow or something like that. Something along those lines. If that makes any sense. And on top of that, Luigi does a bunch of really cool things with this. So, like, things in the background, he can, like, push them to the foreground. Or, you can have them, like, become this pole so you can, like, catapult Mario further. Or something along those lines. Like, these various little things that you slowly get the hang of. And they're nothing too complicated, which is also a really, really good thing. Because from what it looks like, they could have a bunch of them. And you have to do various little things to activate each one. So, there's not a lot there to remember, which is... Oh, sorry. Which is really good. Yes. And the key difference between the Dream World and the real world is the Dream World's in a 2D perspective, where the real world's in the the 3D perspective. I quotate that. It's more like actually that's what you, I guess a bird's eye view would probably make the most sense of calling it, but slightly slanted. Sort of like the other Mario RPG, the one that was on the Super NES. It has that kind of perspective to it, which is, it's a nice little throwback. I like that, now that I think about it. Good job, Nintendo. So, let's see. It always feels like there's a lot I have to talk about this game, because it feels like there's a lot to talk about, but at the same time there isn't. So if I miss something... quickly. 3D effects, non-existent practically. There's nothing that's like, whoa, 3D, or like, that's really cool. They separate the foreground and the background. Just, it exists. I mean, like, in the Dream World, they sort of do separate the foreground and the background, but it's barely noticeable that it's not even worth saying anything about it. If anything, this is a game that they had designed to be played completely with the 3D off. Because like it doesn't feel like it ever gets used at any point, and when you do turn it on, it doesn't really, you know, add anything or make it look neat or really cool or anything. It feels like it does nothing. It's weird. Music's really good so far. There's no voice acting, of course, but you know, there's like the little voices that they had. Charles, what's his name? Can never remember his last name. Doing they're nice. They're nice little funny bits, but it's very basically like Italian gibberish. So now it's time to get into the part about Luigi. The way they treat him in this game is just so mind-boggling. Especially added on to the fact that this is supposed to be like the year of Luigi, where Luigi gets celebrated, and we're going to roast the shit out of him. It's like every character in this game has something to fucking say about him, and it gets to the point where it's just like, give the guy a break. It's really not. It's terrible because they just sort of treat him, honestly, like I say, like a second banana. But like, even second bananas would call this guy overdoing the second banana-ness. If that makes any sense. Okay, so examples would probably help. So like, the fact that he's always, you know, called a snoozer or a slacker because he sleeps a lot. I've never seen Luigi sleep in any of his games, especially to the amount that they imply that he does. Like he's some sort of somniac or something like that. But at the same time, he's also helping to get the princess, so... Yeah. It's just sort of a plot piece, really, and, you know, any game after this, it's not going to really, you know, influence anything else. It's not like, you know, you're going to play Super Mario Galaxy 3, and, you know, Luigi sleeps half the time. He becomes like Snorlax. Other things is, they just find other things to poke fun at. Like, at the beginning, Luigi is asleep, so Mario and the game move ahead, and there's a couple of trials that Mario goes through, where he basically just defeats enemies, and it's part of the tutorial. And it's like literally impossible to die during these parts. Luigi meets up with you. He's gone through the same trials, and he just about is like at 5 HP out of like 30 that he has, which is implying that he sucks at combat, apparently, especially tutorial-based ones. There's this little star, this ball character from like the Valley of the Stars or some shit, and it does not like Luigi at all. It's just, it baffles me a bit. It's because they advertise this as being part of that year Luigi, just celebrating how awesome Luigi is. And in all honesty, Luigi's really cool. I mean, in fact, in some cases, I think he's way better than Mario. Of course, and I really like Wario a lot better than Mario. So, you know, rooting for the underdogs, essentially. Well, Luigi's another story, though. No, he isn't. That's a no-brainer. Waluigi's cooler. But yeah, this game's basically like a very Mario-esque game, because I mean, Mario is praised for everything. I should mention that there's a lot of times where Mario and Luigi are together, and they just say, "Oh, hey Mario," and it's like, Luigi's right there, you bastard. Can't say hi to him as well. Like the odd time will be like, you know, Toadworth will be like, "Oh, Master Mario, Master Luigi," but like majority of the times, like just talks to Mario, even though Luigi's like right there. Even in the dream world, people don't even bother to sometimes say hi to him and only say hi to Mario. And I mean, this is like, and then the dream world, Dreamy Luigi, as I call him, is supposed to be like that ideal idea that Luigi sees himself as being like the best, and everyone likes him and praises him for like who he is, and he still gets treated the exact same way and doesn't even get a friendly hello. It's... I know it sounds really nitpicky, but like I said, the fact that this is supposed to be part of that yearly celebration just is mind-boggling. And then, of course, like the next big one that they were talking about is the Mario Golf game. It's going to be on the 3DS, and that's part of the year Luigi, because Luigi's in it. You know, next year you're going to say, like, all the Wii U titles that are going to be coming out during the Christmas season. That's part of it, too. So, if they want to actually celebrate the year of Luigi, they should release, like, all those games that Luigi starred in beforehand. Like, Mario was missing. Yeah, release that one. That would be a nice little addition to the whole thing. So, with that all said and done, it's a good game. Definitely grab it. And until next time, keep on gaming and properly celebrating the year of Luigi by playing the original Luigi's Mansion, because the new one's not that great. The GameCube one's better. Or play Mario is Missing. I guess that's a good way to do it too. Okay, sorry, I just have one more thing to say. And I completely forgot to say it last night while I was recording the first impression, but in the game you can save in two different ways. You can save either by finding the save points, which are the save blocks, or you can just touch the save button on your touch screen at any time. Let's process that for a second. You can save at certain points in the game, or you can save at any time. Why have one if you have the other? It's it doesn't make any sense, and it was one of the most baffling things I had ever seen in a game, and I can't believe I completely forgot about it. It was probably because I was a little more concentrated on how stupid the Luigi year thing was. But yeah, that's in there. Figured I should say that because it's probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. So if you're watching this, Nintendo, if you're watching this, WTF. WTF.